The dust hung thick in the canyon, sunlight struggling through the swirling grit. For soldiers lay trapped under the crumbling overhang, pinned by debris from the sudden collapse. Every second mattered. The wind carried the faint echo of distant gunfire, a reminder that danger was far from over. Amidst the chaos, she moved with calm precision. Corporal Harper Lane, a logistics officer by title but a savior by skill, assessed the scene. No hesitation, no fear, just action. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who is listening. She had trained for situations like this, though nobody had expected a logistics officer to face them first. Years of covert drills, survival exercises, and unconventional problem-solving had prepared her for moments that the Army didn't officially teach. Her hands trembled not from fear, but from controlled adrenaline. She knew the soldiers' lives rested on her expertise and quick thinking. The first step was stabilization. She anchored ropes to jagged edges of rock, calculated angles with the precision of a seasoned engineer, and directed the soldiers' movements. Every instruction was deliberate, every motion exact. The soldiers, bruised and shaken, obeyed without question. They trusted her. They didn't know it yet, but she would become the reason they survived. Above, the canyon walls groaned, shifting precariously. One wrong move, and the entire ledge could collapse. Harper's mind raced, balancing physics, human fragility, and the unpredictable elements. She crawled forward, securing a harness under the largest slab of rock, ensuring the weight distribution was perfect. Every breath was measured. Every second counted. Her first rescue was swift, but tense. A soldier's arm was pinned. She directed him to lock his muscles, then carefully lifted and guided him to safety. Dust fell from the canyon walls like snow, sunlight flickering across sweat-soaked brows. Her own heart pounded, but her face remained calm, her instructions steady, one at a time. "We move carefully. You'll be fine." The second and third soldiers followed, each requiring adjustments, careful coordination, and reassurance. Their eyes met hers, wide with fear and awe, recognizing a rare combination of courage and competence. She was more than a logistics officer. She was a strategist, a lifeline, and in this moment, a hero. The final soldier was trapped beneath a rock too large to move with brute force. Harper evaluated the situation, noticing an old technique rarely taught but effective in tight rescues. She applied leverage in a precise sequence using ropes, pulleys, and her own strength. Inch by inch, the rock shifted. A collective gasp rose from the other soldiers as she freed him, dragging him to safety, just as a distant rumble signaled another potential collapse. The canyon fell silent, save for heavy breathing and the faint rush of wind through jagged rocks. For lives had been saved. Harper sank to her knees briefly, relief washing over her like a wave, before she straightened. Duty wasn't over yet. The soldiers looked to her, gratitude and disbelief in their eyes. She nodded, silently acknowledging their survival, then turned toward the approaching threat. Signs of an unauthorized reconnaissance unit moving to the canyon. It's likely tracking the same soldiers. But heroism carried consequences. The government, wary of anyone operating outside official protocol, to save lives, soon branded her actions unauthorized and dangerous. Reports were filed, investigations launched. She had saved 4 soldiers, but the very system she served now questioned her judgment. Harper was forced into the shadows, her accolades unspoken, her methods scrutinized, her career threatened. Months later, she faced interrogation panels, bureaucrats questioning every move she had made in the canyon. They couldn't deny the soldiers had survived. They couldn't dispute the data, the coordinates, the technique, but they could attempt to diminish her role, to label her a liability. Each question was met with calm precision. She answered truthfully, never defensive, letting the facts speak louder than opinions. Outside the sterile walls of the government offices, the soldiers she had saved whispered her name in gratitude, their lives a living testament to her courage. One of them, a seasoned sergeant, eventually confronted the bureaucrats. "If it weren't for Harper, 4 of my men wouldn't be alive. And I don't care what protocol you think she broke." The moral tension was palpable. Was it right for the government to punish someone whose only goal had been to save lives? Or was adherence to rules above human survival the true crime? Harper's story became a quiet storm rippling through the ranks, challenging the rigid boundaries of military procedure. Her resilience was tested further when the public eventually learned fragments of her actions. Media outlets hinted at a mysterious officer whose bravery saved soldiers during an unreported canyon collapse. The government attempted to suppress information, but stories have a way of surfacing. Slowly, recognition grew, not official commendation, but undeniable truth. Harper Lane had acted with courage, precision, and integrity. In the end, she emerged with a quiet victory. No medals, no formal accolades, but her conscience was clear. For lives had been saved. For families spared grief. And despite attempts to erase her from records, the soldiers she protected remembered her name, and so did the world. Because true courage doesn't wait for approval, it acts when needed most. Because heroism, isn't measured in accolades, is counted in lives saved and the difference one person makes when no one else can. Harper Lane's story is a reminder. Bravery often exists in the shadows, and sometimes the system fears the very individuals who protect it the most. If this story inspired you, comment below. I read every single one. Subscribe to Whispered Words for more cinematic tales of courage, resilience, and heroes who rise even when the world tries to hold them down.